Hi guys, this is for you that might be self-isolating at home. Um, it's Monday, we're doing Mastery Monday. So if you're just joining us and you're new to year 7, actually even in year 8, this is a new part of the English program that Mondays is a Mastery Monday day. Okay, it's a standalone lesson that's about introducing, revising, mastering skills that will then be tested across the week. Maybe later on in the week, you'll do a longer term retrieval task based on these skills. You might use writing or apply these skills in writing across the week. And we will be, once now that Show My Homework's up and running, introducing spelling as well. So for us today, we're going to be looking at mastering commas. So into your books, if you'd like to put the title, Mastering Commas. So today, as it says here, we're going to work to master 3 rules for using commas. Number 1, lists. So we're going to look at using commas within lists. Number 2, that we use commas to separate the part that tells when in a sentence. And number 3, how we use commas when sentences are joined using the word but. So those are the 3 areas that we're going to look to revise and master today. But you don't need to write those down yet. We'll come back to that in a minute. But what I would love you to do is just pause. And our title today is Mastering Commas. And it is the 21st of September. Now, guys, as you're doing this at home, you can pause and restart the video at any point that you need to. But sometimes I might just say pause now and direct you a little bit more. But feel free to pause or rewind if you don't catch what I'm saying. So we can pause now. Title, Mastering Commas, neatly in our books, underlined, and the date, 21st of September. Okay, guys, so the first one we're going to look at is number 1, completing sentences by writing a correct list. So here is our starting rule. In a list, you divide each item with a comma, apart from the last one, which you will add to the list with and. So rule, in a list, divide each item with a comma, apart from the last one, which you will add to the list with and. Now, we've got 3 sentences here, all the answers are in the picture. All the words that we will need are in the vocabulary box. But your job is going to be to use commas, okay, to organize these in a list. So I'm going to do number 1 with you, and then I'm going to ask you to pause and do number 2 and 3 independently. So the first thing is number 1 says blank sat on the leaf. So the first thing we need to do is look at the pictures. We need to find the leaves and see what animals are sat there. Are you looking with me? Brilliant. Can you see them? So next to the trunk of the tree, we've got a frog. Brilliant. Then we've got a lizard. Excellent. And a spider. So we're going to use the rule to introduce this list of animals that are sat on the leaf. So we're going to say a frog, comma, a lizard, comma. Oh, what did I do wrong? Because we introduced the last item in the list not with a comma but with and. So we're going to say a frog, comma, a lizard, and a spider sat on the leaf. Are you ready, guys? Now we are talking about sentence mastery, sentence skills. We want to start with a capital letter end with a full stop. So we're going to say a frog, comma, a lizard, and a spider sat on the leaf. So I'm going to just pause and let you write that one down. Okay, guys, so I'm going to talk you through 2 and 3, and then you're going to go from it. Remember, it's lists, so it has to be groups of animals, not just one particular animal. So look, number 2 says, by the watering hole, comma, blank drank. So we need at least 3 animals by the watering hole because we're going to be listing them. So what animals can we see? Now, we could cross off frog, spider, and lizard because we've seen those. So let's have a little look, guys. What animals can you see? Oh, which is the one at the front of the picture? Brilliant, a rhino. Yep, 2 zebras and a giraffe. So by the watering hole, as a rhino, 2 zebras and a giraffe drank. So that's the information, but where are those commas going to go? Remember, we're writing a list and we divide each item with a comma, apart from the last one, which you add to the list with and. So we're going to say by the watering hole, a rhino, comma, 2 zebras and a giraffe drank. Brilliant. Now I'm just going to talk to you about number 3. And then you're going to pause and you're going to do this one, 2 and 3 written into your books, okay? So number 3 says, you could see blank peeping from the tree. So guys, let's have a look at the tree. What animals can we see? Brilliant. Parrot, what else? monkey, and snake. Brilliant. You could see a parrot, comma, a monkey, and a snake peeping from the tree. So guys, you're just going to pause now, and when you've finished writing out 1, 2, and 3 with commas in the correct places, you can move on. Okay, so we've looked at commas separating lists. Now we're going to be looking at sentences that tell us when something happened, okay? So we're going to first of all identify when or where something happened and then how we use the comma. So each of the sentences below say when it happened. I have underlined the parts of the sentence that state when it happened. Number 1, the team scored the winning goal in the last minute. So when did the team score the winning goal? In the last minute. Ishraq relaxed after a long day at work. When did Ishraq relax? After a long day at work. So it's telling you when something happened. Sally and Sarah made a curry on Tuesday night. So when did Sally and Sarah make a curry? Brilliant, on Tuesday night. So you can see that each of the green parts that are underlined tell us when it happened. So you don't need to write anything down here. And if you need to look back at this one in a minute for the information, you can. You just press pause and rewind. It's magic, isn't it? Let's see what comes next. So this then is about punctuating when it happened. So using commas to tell us when it happened. So here is the rule for punctuating when it happened. When you start the idea of the sentence with when it happened, you put a comma right after when it happened. So the team scored the winning goal in the last minute. Now, if we're going to start with when it happened in the last minute, can you see? We then put the comma in. So in the last minute, comma, the team scored the winning goal. Ishraq relaxed after a long day at work. So then we turn it round. So we begin with the when. After a long day at work, comma, Ishraq relaxed. Sally and Sarah made a curry on Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, comma, Sally and Sarah made a curry. So guys, after the when, if the when is at the start of the sentence, we use a comma. We ready to practice? Brilliant. So remember, when you start with when it happened, you put a comma right after when it happened. So here's our task. We need to rewrite each sentence so that it begins with when it happened, making sure we put a comma in the correct place. Okay, so number 1, the telephone rang as she was leaving the office. So I've done this for you. So we take the when to the beginning of the sentence. As she was leaving the office, comma, the telephone rang. So number 2, you will be given your pocket money at the end of the month. So step 1, when will you be given the pocket money? Brilliant, at the end of the month. So now we're going to rewrite this sentence so that it begins with when it happened. So the first thing we do, at the end of the month, you will be given your pocket money. Full stop. So we rewrite that one out. Now, where does the comma go? Brilliant. The comma goes at the end of when it happened. So at the end of the month, comma, you will be given your pocket money. So in a minute, you're going to rewrite the sentence so it's following those new rules. So number 3, the man and the woman held hands while they walked. So guys, when did the man and woman hold hands? Brilliant. While they walked. So while they walked is going to come to the beginning of the sentence. So while they walked, the man and the woman held hands. So where's the comma going to go? Brilliant. While they walked, comma, the man and woman held hands. Excellent. So I want you to do number 4 without me. Nellie blushed when her name was called. So again, guys, you're going to pause. You're going to write out 1 to 4 so that when is at the start and the comma is in the right place. Okay? You can re-listen to the examples. You can replay my voice. But I would really love it that those are written out before you move on to the next task. Off you go. Okay, so the final rule. When you combine 2 sentences with the word but, you put a comma before the word but. So rule, when you combine 2 sentences with the word but, you put a comma before the word but. Okay, so our task to practice this is to rewrite and punctuate the sentences correctly. So for example, Adrian wanted to see the film, but it was fully booked. So we've got to find the word but, and then what's got to go before that word but? A comma. Brilliant. Adrian wanted to see the film, but, so there's my comma. Adrian wanted to see the film, comma, but it was fully booked. So for the next 4, what are you going to do? You're going to find which word? Brilliant. You're going to find the word but. And then before the but, what punctuation mark? A comma. Brilliant. So you're going to rewrite and punctuate these sentences correctly. The elephants were huge, but they were also gentle. I read the book, but I didn't understand it. But I didn't enjoy it. 3, we tried to go to Spain, but our flights were cancelled. 4, Sasha looked for you, but she couldn't find you. So guys, where are our commas going to go? Between which two words? So number 1, the elephants were huge, comma, but they were also gentle. I read the book. Brilliant. You're shouting, I can tell, comma, but I didn't enjoy it. We tried to go to Spain, comma, but our flights were cancelled. Sasha looked for you, comma, but she couldn't find you. So again, you're going to pause the screen and you're going to rewrite and punctuate the the sentences 1 to 4 correctly. Off you go. Okay, so finally in today's mastery lesson, we're going to write an explanation about what happened in this image. We're going to use the words dangled, fishing rod, lake, skimmed, knelt, picnic, water skis and brought. We've got some names of people, so actually we can match water skis to which character? Brilliant, Bob. So Bob's on water skis. Who's got the fishing rod? Excellent, Sally. Let's have a think then. Who brought a bowl of salad? Can you see? Good. Jane's carrying her bowl, isn't she? Who brought some drinks? Who's carrying the drinks, guys? Carl. Brilliant. Now, who's knelt down? Could be 1 or 2 answers here. Brilliant. Melissa or John. Now, skimmed, you guys might or might not know. Skimmed, we could say that Bob's water skis are skimming across the water, or it is that lovely game we sometimes play by water with stones. So you're going to be able to use your imagination in a minute, but you are going to write a series of sentences to explain what's happening in this image. We want to use the keywords, but this is the important bit. We want to write in a way that shows that we have put the bit that tells when at the beginning of at least one sentence, so using commas in the correct way for that job, that we're going to include a list with accurate commas to show we can do that job, and that we've included a comma before the word but to show that we can do that job. So as a minimum then, how many sentences do we need? We need 3 sentences at a minimum. One that tells us when, one that's got a list, and one that's got a comma before the word but. But if you write more than 3 sentences, if you are more descriptive and you tell more about this image, more explanation, brilliant. But I would say you don't want to be sat at home, guys, doing this for hours. But as a minimum, we would love to see that from this image, you can create 3 sentences that use commas at the right place. Okay, so if we're going to do number 1 together, I have put the bit that tells when at the beginning of at least one sentence. So really, we've got a group of people, maybe a family, a group of friends on a picnic. So guys, when's the best time to go for a picnic? Brilliant. Maybe at the weekend, on Saturday. So we could say at the weekend, comma, the family gathered for a picnic by the river. At the weekend, comma, the family gathered for a picnic by the river. So that's mastery check 1 ticked off because I've got the bit that tells us when at the beginning of at least one sentence. Now we could show more variation. We could have said after lunch, comma, Bob went water skiing. After lunch, comma, Sally took her fishing rod to the river. After lunch, comma, Carl remembered he'd left the drinks in the car. So we can have greater variation of when we use the when. So we've got lots of examples there. Now let's have a look at this one. I've included a list with accurate commas. Okay, so I think a really nice way to think about a list, isn't it, if we're at a picnic, is what's in that picnic basket? What are we some of the lovely foods, drinks maybe that are going to come out of that picnic basket? Now, we could now also combine that with John, and that John knelt beside the picnic basket and picked out or pulled out sandwiches, crisps, drinks, and salad. So we can start to bring in some of the words from our word bank and this lovely picture of John. So let's just try that together. So John knelt by the picnic basket and brought out sandwiches, comma, salad, and crisps, full stop. So then we've used the list. So we can tick off, I've used the list, aren't I brilliant? I've used knelt and brought out and John, brilliant. Now I've included a comma before the word but. Okay, so let's think. A but moment. What could be a but moment? Okay, so maybe Bob's on his water skis, but he's about to fall off. Maybe Sally went fishing with her fishing rod, but didn't catch anything. Maybe the family were ready for a picnic, but it began to rain. So, what we've got to remember here is the comma comes before the but, doesn't it? So we could say Sally dangled her fishing rod into the water, comma, but she didn't catch anything. Poor Sally. Bob was riding was being pulled along on the water skis, comma, but he fell off with a loud splash. So Bob was being pulled along on his water skis, comma, but he fell off with a loud splash. So can you see how we've created 3 sentences that use the when, a list with commas, and a comma before the word but. So now it's your job to do the writing. And that's going to be at least 3 sentences showing each of these mastery checks inspired by this picture, guys. Look forward for you to bring your work back in with you when you come back. See you guys later. Bye.